What's up, Samcard Familia? I'm Kim Jimenez, digital marketing strategist, and in this bonus session, I'm going to show you 3 of my top strategies so that you can start sending organic traffic to your Samcart pages without having to spend a penny on ads, having a large email list, or even having a massive social media audience. So I hope you're ready for it. Make sure that you bring a notebook or some kind of note-taking app, as well as pour yourself a nice cup of tea or coffee, and let's get into this training because I promise it's really going to serve you when it comes to actually making money off of your Samcart funnel. Let's do it. All right, so I hope that you're in a comfortable area, that you have a distraction-free environment, because this is going to be a really fun presentation and I want to make sure that you're getting the very best out of it. Now, if you and I haven't met before, here's a little bit about me. My name's Kim Jimenez, and I started my first business with my husband, Chris, in 2012 in a very small town, Athens, Georgia, and we actually started it in a blue-collar industry with zero investment dollars. It's traditional business, very, very high overhead, low margins, tons of hustle, hard work, and we quickly grew it to multiple 7 figures within 18 months. It was a labor of love. It was really challenging, extraordinarily challenging, but we learned through that process that leveraging online marketing really was a game changer, and it helped us totally level up and really differentiate ourselves from the competition. And that's how I got into digital marketing. I then went on to become a social media consultant for larger brands and corporations, and really worked with so many different businesses, everyone from local coffee shops all the way up to large corporations with multi-million marketing budgets, handling massive campaigns that were international, and allowed me to really look at bigger picture and work with higher budgets and see what worked. But my passion was always with small businesses. I loved really working with small mom and pop shops, solopreneurs, people who are just getting their start. And that's when I launched the Business Lounge, which is to this day our #1 course academy. It really is a membership site where we help entrepreneurs and business owners launch their dreams, really, and make it happen. And so I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a digital marketer, I'm a strategist, and I'm an educator. And that's just a little bit about me. I've been featured in places like Soundboard, SEMrush, and Huffington Post. And I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of who I am before we kind of dive into these strategies so that you kind of get a gist for who I am, where I've been, and kind of what I've done in the last 8 years that has led to this moment. So I would want to kick off this presentation with one of my favorite quotes from the great Seth Godin. If you don't know who this man is, definitely look him up. He's amazing. And he says, you don't find customers for your products. You got to find products for your customers. And that really is the essence of this entire training, right? We're operating under the assumption that you've done the work to really research your offer, to understand your market, to get to know who they are, what their pain points and challenges are, and really to fall in love with your customer. That is the key here. We can talk about all the bells and whistles and the hacks and the strategies and the tactics, but at the end of the day, it's all about your people. It's about falling in love with them and finding solutions to their problems time and time again. And if you do that, you'll never be out of business, my friend. You will thrive in any economy. You'll be able to really propel yourself above your competitors, and you'll be able to succeed regardless of the climate or the changes in the economy or all the crazy things that can happen, in the world. And that's really what I wanted to hammer during the first part of our presentation, because as we get deep into these individual strategies and these topics, I don't want you to miss the big picture. And that is to love on your customers, to serve them with tons of heart, and to really just be their go-to source for all of their problems around whatever solution that you're offering. So when we're talking about organic traffic strategies, right, and coming up with our organic strategy plan, keeping in mind that we want to create the very best offers for our customers, there's 2 different ways of kind of going about it, right? There's the long-term strategy, and that's usually the strategy that you hear a lot about from digital marketers, from other entrepreneurs, from experts, from influencers, and that is to build your audience, right? To build an email list, to build your audience, to gain some attention to build your authority, to start creating, different strategies, whether it's search or whether it's social media. And all of those strategies are so important, so key for long-term sustainable growth, right? And then there's a short-term side of it. And when we talk about the short-term, we're really just talking about, okay, if you're getting started or you're in a phase in your business where you're sprinting right now, right? Maybe you're doing a launch or you're just trying to close out a great quarter, or you are kind of just coming up with a brand new product and you really want to hustle and you want to get that cash flow strategy into your business so that, frankly, you can continue funding the mission, you can continue paying the bills, you can move forward, maybe quit your full-time job, maybe hire some new team members. Those short-term strategies are sprints, right, in your business that help you inject cash into your brand. And what we're going to talk about primarily is that short-term plan in this session, right? Long-term stuff, extremely important. Really want to make sure that you got that covered as well, and that you're focused on building that sustainable part of your business where you're bringing in traffic day in and day out. You're not having to hustle in order to close that sale or bring in that lead or convert that customer with your SAM card pages. But we do have to also talk about how can we make money now, right? How do we do that? And so as we kind of go through these strategies, I want you to keep those two kind of paths in mind, right? You got your long-term plan and your short-term plan. Now, traditionally, this is what you would see in something like a funnel, a very basic, kind of bare bones buying or customer journey process. Whether you call it a funnel or you call it, a customer journey or you call it a sales process, it's really all the same thing. It's how do you turn someone who doesn't know you into a paying customer? And so traditionally, you'll see here, there's paid traffic, and everyone is totally enamored and obsessed with paid traffic, myself included. Love paid traffic. It's awesome. But when I first started my business, when I first started running our moving company that I started with my husband, Chris, we couldn't afford to run paid ads, right, for a couple months until we became profitable. And then the same thing when I transitioned into my consulting business, I started with organic strategies. I started with that hustle and that sweat equity, just putting in the time because I had more time than I had money. And so whether, again, you are in a season of your business where you either want to just go all in on a launch strategy and you don't want to invest in paid advertisement, or you want to use it alongside paid advertisement, that's what we're going to cover. We're going to talk about how do you do that, right? How do you actually monetize without having a huge audience, an email list, or paid traffic? Not to say that paid traffic is a bad thing. Again, love paid traffic, spend a lot of money on Facebook ads and Instagram ads and Pinterest ads and all the ads, but specifically just kind of understanding, okay, how does, a traditional customer journey work, and how does someone actually find us? How do they discover us, and how do they become a customer? And so I believe there's 4 stages or 4 main phases in any customer journey. The first is discovery, right? And people can discover you through paid advertisement. They can discover you through search. They can discover you through social media, from referrals, from affiliates. There's so many different avenues of discovery. And what we're trying to do with a long-term strategy is getting discovered consistently, right? It's driving that traffic consistently, either via paid ads, via search, via social media, and ideally a combination of all of those, right? The next step up is consumption. And usually that consumption can be very short, or it could take a couple of weeks or maybe even a couple years. And the consumption step is where people are just consuming your content. They're watching your YouTube videos, they're maybe listening to your podcast, they're watching a webinar, or they're watching one of your Instagram takeover videos, or maybe they're doing an IGTV video, or they're just reading your social media posts. Maybe they're reading your blog or visiting your website. Whatever it is, they're consuming an asset that you have planted on the internet for them to find. And that really is that next step. And that step is where we find that trust. We build that likability factor. We build that momentum to turning someone who has just found us or has been a part of our community for a while into a paying customer. And again, that's that next stage here, right? The acquisition stage. And here's where a customer gives you, their hard-earned cash, their money in exchange for your product, your program, or your service. And here's where your SAM card pages also come into play, right? Usually we're sending people to a sales page or to an order form or even to a blend of both, which is something that SAM card allows you to do. Absolutely love that, something that we use every single day in our business. And the final stage is ascension, right? That's when someone repurchases your product or moves on to something like a product maximizer or a high-end offer in your company or your brand. And this is also the stage where they usually become super fans. They're excited about purchasing from you again. They're loyal. They tell their friends and their family and everyone who hears would hear them about your brand. And that's really what we want to accomplish, is taking someone from discovery all the way through to ascension. Now, just to remind you, these two phases, the acquisition and the ascension phase right over here, that's where your SAM card pages come in, right? Whether you're using the one-page funnel strategy or you're kind of doing a combination of a sales page and an order form, or you're just sending people to your order form, you're creating a place for people to actually give you their money or to actually move to the next stage in that buying journey, in that buying process, and to ascend into becoming not just a one-time buyer, but a repeat buyer and ideally a super fan. So kind of going back to what I mentioned earlier. Okay, so we understand the process, we understand the big picture, we know that we need a short-term and a long-term strategy, but we're going to focus more on the short term, especially for those of you who are just getting started and you're, oh my God, okay, so I got this awesome software. Now what? I got an offer. How do I find customers? How do I actually get in front of the people that actually will care about my product, about my brand? Because let me tell you something. We got to fund the mission. And I love this quote. I don't know where I heard it. Honestly, I could not remember where I heard it. It was maybe Brendon Burchard or Sean Cannell, probably one of those two dudes. Awesome dudes. Check them out, by the way. And it's so true, right? Like we gotta make money. We've got to generate some profit here. And we love doing that in this little corner of the internet. We're all about making profit and serving people from a place of integrity. So the question that we're asking ourselves at this point is, how do we accelerate our customer acquisition and boost our cash flow, right? So how can I actually do this the fastest possible way, knowing that this is not necessarily the only strategy I'm going to keep using for the rest of the duration of my business? Because frankly, it's not sustainable to constantly be in that hustle mode, right? You want to have passive traffic coming your way, if there's such a thing, but really just recurring traffic. People are coming to you instead of you having to chase them down. That's the dream. But when you're getting started, or when you're in, again, that hustle period or that sprint season, you want to actually go to people, show face, right? Figure out how you're going to interact with them. And really, there's 3 ways of doing that. 3 ways of getting in front of your customers instead of waiting for them to come to you, which should eventually happen again if you got your long-term strategy down. So, short-term strategy, 3 ways. Number 1, you leverage your audience, right? You leverage your audience. But Kim, you said that I didn't have to have a big audience. What are you talking about? I know. Don't worry. I'm just sharing the 3 different ways. The second way is through paid ads, right? You get discovered. Again, remember our 4 stages: discovery, consumption, acquisition, and ascension. So getting discovered through paid ads is a really phenomenal strategy, but let's face it, not all of us have a chunk of change to invest in ads, or maybe we don't even have the time to learn how to market on Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest and YouTube or Google appropriately in a smart way. And then there's the last one, which is OPA. And let me tell you something. That's what we're going to talk about today. It's that OPA strategy. And you might be wondering, what the heck is OPA? So OPA stands for other people's audiences, baby. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to leverage other people's audiences to drive traffic, to actually make sales and revenue. And we're going to do it strategically. So I hope you're excited, because I sure am. Let's do it. Now, when you're marketing to OPAs or other people's audiences, it's very important that you remember this. You should never operate exclusively through a short-term cash flow strategy. And I should add to that for an extended period of time. Meaning, remember how we talked about the long-term strategy? I still want you to pay attention to that. It's important to create content. It's important to build an audience. It's important to build an email list. It's important to use paid ads. But I don't necessarily want you to just get so hyper-focused only on short-term strategies because you're seeing that cash flow influx and getting really excited about it, which is great, that you forget about the long-term strategy. Otherwise, you're just going to be in hustle mode all the time, and that's not what I want for you. So big disclaimer, very important, don't say I didn't tell you. Now, when we're talking about kind of organic traffic strategies versus short-term strategies, let's get specific into these, right? So we already talked about what long-term looks like. Social media, search, list building, content creation, and the list goes on and on and on, right? Great long-term strategies. If you execute them well and you hyper-focus, you're going to have traffic on your website, on your funnels, on your Samcar pages for years and years to come. Now, short-term strategy, that's where we're just literally going to get real tactical. Like we're just hyper-focusing and just getting it done. And so here's a couple of different ways, right, that you can leverage that short-term game and start driving that traffic. Number one, HM. And if you've been around the block for a while, you know exactly what this means. It's hustle marketing. Hustle marketing. You're going to hustle your buns off. You're going to show up in front of people. You're going to leverage other people's audiences, right? Those OPAs. You're going to activate those and you're just going to get it done. Number two, MI marketing, which stands for micro influencer marketing. Again, a different type of marketing. We're going to leverage other people's audiences and you're going to not just get them excited about hearing what you have to say. You're actually going to move them into action, and you're going to do it in a really strategic way through leveraging other people's influence. Affiliates. Another fantastic way of really just driving that organic traffic, building relationships that will help boost your brand through years and years and years to come, and then JV partnerships, right? Both affiliates and JV partnerships are ways that you can leverage other people's email lists and their social media audiences, not just for launching, but just for getting, recurring revenue, for building a referral network, and for just helping each other out, especially when you are in these two categories where you're giving your partners, your JV partners, your affiliates, a cut of the sales. It's a phenomenal marketing strategy and it's way cheaper than advertising. So definitely something every brand should be leveraging, regardless of what stage you're in, whether you are just starting out and you're like, hey, I gotta put that sweat equity right now, or you're just looking to scale and level up. These are things that you should be layering into your marketing strategy to continue growing and moving the needle in your business. All right, so let's get into OPA strategy number one. Remember, OPA stands for other people's audiences. Can I get a shout? You excited? Because I sure as heck am. This is number one, YouTube influencers. I know. Listen, this might sound like something that only very niche businesses do. But the reality is, in my opinion, this is one of the most untapped sources of freaking free, amazingly specific, niche down, golden traffic. And I've seen it over and over and over again, because one of the awesome things about running a membership site with over 1,000 members is that I get to coach people from all walks of life, from all different businesses in literally 42 different countries on how to leverage the internet to grow based on their specific business. And so I get to see so many stories and hear from our members constantly. And that's why I wanted to share Pat's story with you. So Pat has this awesome product called, I can't remember the name exactly actually, but it's this affordable light stand stabilization system. So Pat's a photographer. He developed this system where he was just unhappy with the way that light stands were designed and how you had to constantly have like stand weights on them to hold them steady while you're shooting outside, and then the wind would like knock over the light stand. So anyway, he designed this really interesting gadget And he came into the business lunch. He was like, listen, Kim, I don't know how the heck to market this thing. I don't have a social media presence. I can't afford to spend paid ads because right now everything I'm making from my photography business is going into, paying for my bills. How do I actually get this thing out there? And I said, you know what, Pat? I think that one of the best things you could do is go leverage some OPAs. Go get yourself some YouTube influencers who would be willing to review your product in exchange for just, the free product. Go send them the free product, ask for a review, no strings attached, no pressure, and see what happens. So Pat actually went, he did his homework, he hustled like crazy. And the first day this video came out, this is, if you are in the photography niche and you know who Curtis Judd is, he's this amazing, amazing photographer. He also, does a lot of light and sound, I believe. I could be wrong if he's a photographer or not, but I don't know. I watch his tutorials coincidentally, and I think he's super awesome. But this video was actually published 3 years ago, and Pat's product was $35, right? $35 product. Within a week of this video going live, where he briefly mentions this product and briefly reviews it. This is not a dedicated review. As you can see, the title says 3 tools for filmmakers. He reviews 2 other tools in addition to Pat's. Pat made $2,200 in 1 week. So he got a ton of sales, literally zero exposure, absolutely no social media following, no list, and no way of actually promoting through paid ads. And I just want to share this story because this gave Pat so much momentum. It gave him so much encouragement and excitement about getting his product out there. And then he started working with more and more influencers. So you can do the math. If this is what happened within 1 week, can you imagine, right, how much this video continues generating for Pat's business 3 years later? So it's something that's really, really underutilized in the digital marketing space, and a strategy that frankly is underutilized, it's undertapped. A lot of larger corporations know about this and they definitely exploit it. But small business owners, we need to be, helping other small business owners. And that's what these influencers are. They have such amazing communities that are so engaged, and it's something that we don't utilize. So this is what Pat's strategy looked like, right? Very, very simple. He got a bunch of people to do product reviews. Actually, I told him this. I said, hey, I want you to make a list of 20 to 30 YouTube influencers who are in the product photography space, right? And would be willing to do this for you. He didn't pay them a cent. All he said was, hey, if you like the product, would you mind mentioning it in one of your videos? It was not pushy. And they did it because this creates a lot of content for them, exposes their audiences to helpful products, and they can also keep the product. So that's something to keep in mind. And this is what the strategy looked like, right? Product review, boom, through video. And if you don't know anything about YouTube, it's a search engine, right? So the more time goes by, usually the more and more views a video will get. So it actually is content that gets better over time, that generates more traffic over time. And frankly, I can't see a better strategy than this one when it comes to just getting the word out there about your product. So you go from product review to your Samcart page, right? Very simple. If you don't have a sales page, that's fine. Samcart has you covered. You could also just have a combo of your sales page and a Samcart page. That's what we do. And from there, people actually give you their money. It's that simple. Literally 3 steps, 1, 2, 3. Product review, link in the description of that product, and then kind of going into the actual Samcart page, as well as the exchange of value, which is the sale. Simple, straight to the point, and so effective. Now, something that Pat did that was really smart and kind of like a little bit of an advanced strategy or a little bonus strategy is he actually gave Curtis a 15% discount so that he could give that to his audience with a code, and that way they were getting an extra incentive. So you can see here, Curtis added it in the description of the video, and the rest is kind of, self-explanatory, very simple. So how can you implement this into your own business? Really, 3 steps is all you need to do. Number 1, make a list of 20 to 40 YouTube influencers in your niche. And this is not hard to do. And of course, keep in mind that not every single business is going to have a big enough niche on YouTube. So again, don't stress out about it. If you see that there's 4 or 5 influencers on YouTube in your niche, that's good enough. I'm trying to go volume because I know that these influencers are super busy, especially if they have a larger audience. They are used to being compensated for reviewing products. And so you want to be strategic about the way that you go about this. So if you can reach out to 20 to 40 influencers, you could probably expect at least 5 of them to get back to you and actually create some kind of review, which I think is amazing. Step number 2. Just as important, I want you to reach out with an offer to send them your product for free in exchange for no strings attached review. Now, if you want an even better chance of them saying yes, you can actually offer, a discount code for their audience, some kind of bonus, or even a cut of the commission, right? So if you really want to make this sure that they're going to say yes, you could totally do all 3, right? Again, no pressure here. I'm just giving you ideas as to what you could do so that hopefully you feel inspired. And last, you're going to add in a bonus or discount specifically for their audience. I think this is a must just because it at least shows that you want to take care of that creator's audience, and that's something that they've worked really, really hard to achieve and that they're going to always protect. So be mindful of that. Now, in the resource section, we have sent the Samcart team a quick template of what kind of pitch you can send to influencers, whether that's on YouTube or other platforms. We've just created a basic template that you can actually go through so that I know I'm going to get the question, okay, but how do I even reach out? How do I get started? So we're going to make it super pragmatic. Here's kind of what you do. And again, I don't want you copying this word by word. Be creative. You're an entrepreneur. You got this. I do not want you copying this word by word. And of course, I want you to tweak it based on your business. But this is just the basic gist, right? Hey, blank, right? YouTuber, be truthful. This is important. I run a YouTube channel. I get pitches literally every day, dozens of times. So I know when someone has actually watched my content and when someone has not. So make sure to go watch a couple videos, get acquainted with that person's audience. Plus that it's great research for knowing whether or not they're the right fit for your product. So I've been watching a few of your videos lately and I love all the value you're bringing to your audience around the topic of blank. Was watching your video on X topic this week and thought what you shared about blank, right? Insert your real perspective, was very blank, powerful, interesting, cool, whatever, you actually thought about it. So I run X company and I'd love to partner with you because I think your audience might find our product super helpful and would also present you with the opportunity to monetize more of your content if you believe we're a good fit. Again, you're only going to add the part about monetizing more of your content if you're going to offer them a commission on top of, the discount or the review. And you don't have to do both, but it would be, I think it's important to do that. We'd love to send you a no strings attached package that sets out the product and a 25% commission. Again, that's totally arbitrary on all sales. If you like it and want to review it on your channel, there are no requirements or strings attached, and we won't be controlling your creative, meaning the actual production of the video or how you speak about the product. So this is just, again, a breaking, like an icebreaker kind of message, just sharing your intentions, talking about who you are. If you want to add more personality, even better, just don't make it overly long because these influencers get so many freaking emails. I don't want you to get lost in the shuffle. Now, we also added in that template a follow-up email if they messaged you back, as well as an FAQ on kind of what you should include for them to understand about the arrangement. So really important here, something to think about. All right, so now let's talk about the pros and cons about this first strategy. This is perfect for physical products. Seriously, guys, like it is ridiculous how easy you can make just passive income through other people's channels and other people's audiences, those OPAs. But it's also great for course creators and software as a service company or SaaS. So let's say that you have a tool or some kind of, software that you want people to get access to, offer people a trial or offer them, a discount, or if you're a course creator, have an influencer review your course, with their honest feedback and give them a cut of the sales. All of these things are things that you could totally leverage and stack on top of your marketing strategy if you have an existing one, or just crush it if you're just getting started with this one strategy. It also will generate revenue for you for years to come, right? We've talked about this. The longevity of YouTube videos is ridiculous and unmatched. It really is. You will continue to see growth in traffic, growth in clicks, growth in sales year after year, which is amazing, especially if that influencer continues to put out new content, if they continue to grow their audience, if they continue to grow their influence. Now, here are the cons. It's a hustle. But what isn't, right? Like, that's the truth. You got to work for this. You got to put in the time and the energy. But here's a really interesting thing that I want to know, especially for listeners who are a little bit more advanced in their business. And here's the thing. You can totally outsource this to a virtual assistant or someone on your team that can actually help in scouting these influencers, managing the communication, pitching, sending them follow-ups, figuring out, calendar dates, because you want to make sure that you're paying attention, like all the links are correct the day that they go live with their video. All those things are really important. And so I just wanted to kind of give you that perspective. Okay. And so the last important, or not the last one, but the one previous to the last is that, guess what? This works for all different types of platforms. It's not just for YouTube. You could totally do this with Instagram, especially micro influencers, people who haven't actually made it to the top yet, but still have amazing engagement. We're seeing more and more larger corporations and businesses go after those micro influencers because the stats show that they're more effective at moving, people in their audience to becoming actual buyers because they have a smaller audience. And that means that there's more trust, more intimacy. Super, super key here. Bloggers, great niche, especially if you have courses or even services. Podcasters, oh my goodness. That is like amazing. And then TikTok influencers, right? New, but totally legit. So all of these different types of platforms have their own little modalities and their different intricacies, little things that might be different here and there, but the overall strategy is the exact same. Literally, I would tell you to go and do the exact same thing I told you to do for YouTube. I would pitch the same way. I would just change, obviously, the wording, and I would build those relationships. And then also think about the fact that you can start working with micro influencers and then build those relationships. And maybe down the line, when you actually start monetizing, you can sponsor an episode, or you can sponsor one of their content pieces, or you can, buy an ad spot in their feed. All of these things will help. It's a win-win situation for the influencer, right? Because they're monetizing their content, but they want to work with people who actually have integrity. And so when you are a smaller brand, it's easier to control that customer experience and to provide that awesome synergy between a influencer and someone else's audience, as well as kind of your environment and what you provide in terms of value. So something to keep in mind. Now, last but not least, I want to share some recruiting tips. This is what is key here. When you're recruiting your YouTubers and your bloggers and your Instagrammers and your TikTokers, don't go for the big boy influencers in the industry just yet. I don't really think it's a good strategy to go for people who have 4 million followers, 4 million subscribers, because they're used to signing big, brand deals. I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, ongoing contracts. They have agents. They've made it, right? And so you probably won't get a response back, although occasionally they will actually help the little guy. And that's really awesome. It's a way for them to give back. But start with someone who's like a tier down, right? Who's like still has, good follower count, but it's not just about the follower count. It's about the engagement. So even someone who just has maybe like less than 10,000 Instagram followers or YouTube subscribers is still an amazing person to work with if they have the engagement, because then that means they have a smaller community and they can actually generate a lot of sales in a short amount of time. So that's really key. The more niche, the better. This is key, right? You want to work with someone who really understands your space and whose ideal clients you want to reach. That's really, really key. And then build the relationship, right? Don't be a jerk. Like, people are people. Influencers are people too. You're building a business relationship. Be professional, build the relationship, actually show up legitimately. I don't want you messaging people from like some freaking private Instagram account or some shoddy Gmail email. Get yourself a website, get yourself a URL, at the very least, have your SAM cart pages ready, polished, looking good. Take some professional photography, even if it's with your phone, like YouTube that stuff. You can take amazing pictures with your phone. Make sure that your stuff looks legit, okay? And then I want you to think about outsourcing the communication and recruitment at some point, right? Outsource that to a VA or to an intern or to someone else on your team, as we've talked about. As you grow, as you make that money, you can start doing bigger things, which is really exciting. And that's something you might want to present as you're building the relationship with that influencer. Let them know, hey, I want to work with you long term. Right now, we're just getting started, so we're really small and our budget is small, but we would love to work with you long term. And hopefully we would have a synergistic relationship, assuming you like our product. So let's move on to OPA strategy number 2. How are we feeling? Are you excited? Are you hanging in there? Are you seeing the possibilities? I hope that you are, because this stuff is legit and there's very few people actually doing this in our space and doing it right. So strategy number 2, social media takeovers or interviews, whatever floats your boat. Mainly on Facebook and Instagram, but this can happen everywhere. I'm talking YouTube, podcast. You could do this on blogs. But because we're mainly focused on the video aspect, I think that's the fastest way of making you some sales. We're really just going to focus on Facebook and Instagram. But again, think about YouTube, think about TikTok. All those platforms will also work. So here's Allie's story. Allie is one of my students and she's a little shy. So this isn't her actual picture. And her name's not actually Allie. We kind of disguised it a little bit just because she requested it and I wanted to honor her wishes. But this is her story. She had this amazing, or has this amazing one-on-one financial coaching company. She was starting from scratch, leaving her corporate job, and her packages for coaching started at $7.99 to $9.99. Allie, through Facebook and Instagram takeovers, literally launched and made $21,000 in 1 month. And guess what? She keeps doing it every other month. She's on her hustle game, showing up, showing face, and really building those relationships with other people in her industry who have bigger audiences while she built her own audience. So one of the cool things as I was talking to her that she mentioned was that as she's doing these social media takeovers, is not just growing her business and making her money and making her direct sales, it's actually also growing her social media, it's growing her email list, and slowly but surely she's able to sustain the clients that she generates inbound, right? And she doesn't have to hustle as much. So she's only been doing it for a year, but she's having massive success. And I'm so proud of her. So this is how Allie does her thing. This is how I coached her to do this thing. And it worked like gangbusters. So number 1, she shows up someone else's platform and she shares education or she demos a product. In this case, she's a service, right? So if you have a product, you could demo your product, you can talk about the benefits, all those things are important. But if you are a service-based business or you are an expert or you have a course, education is your game, baby. So you're going to be educating people. Then, and here's the important part, on Instagram and Facebook, sales happen, or at least with takeovers and with live video or just with IG TV or just with like freaking Facebook Watch. Really, where she's seeing the most amount of sales and where we're seeing the most amount of sales generated is through DMs. It's moving people to DMs or chat and then sending them to a SAM card page or a sales page, right? Super key, super important. You're not going to be sending people directly to the URL. You're going to send them to a DM. So as you're presenting, as you're sharing your know-how, as you're dropping some awesome knowledge bombs and just propelling your authority to new heights to that audience, you're actually telling them to ask you questions via DMs. And you could do it one of 2 ways. Usually if you're doing a takeover, that means that you're allowed to kind of take over that platform for the day. And so you can message people, you can follow up with them via DM, you can do this as well on Facebook through chat if they're, a Facebook page, assumingly they are, or you can just have people DM and chat you over on your page. Now, most effective thing is for them to DM and chat you right on that person's profile. But I understand you can't always do that. The key here is we're moving them to action through DMs or chat, not directly through a URL. And that's what is making the biggest difference when it comes to making sales on IG and Facebook. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to identify where your audience hangs out, and then you're going to find the key players in that industry. Then you're going to take it a level down. You're not going to go for the celebrities. You're going to go for people who have established audiences, but are not just mainstream yet and are still kind of in the hustle themselves, are willing to do collaborations. They see the value in bringing you on as an expert, and maybe they get a commission from the sales that you actually, have to the audience. And that way they allow you to be a little bit more aggressive with your pitch. But then you build those relationships, right? You don't have to message everybody in one day and kind of push it down their throat. No, just build a relationship, right? Start following them, say hello, watch their content, comment on their stuff, and then start building the relationship. And then pitch them on coming on their social platform, right? Ideally via video. So this is the most effective when you can go live, or you could do Instagram TV, or you could do even just a Facebook watch, even if it's pre-recorded or Facebook Live. That's where it's the hottest. So ideally you want your host to let everyone know that, you're going to be coming on the platform, you're going to do an official takeover for the day, and you're going to be sharing your insight on topic X. That is the key here. Then we got to take in consideration the pros and the cons. And I promise we're going to talk about some selling tips, but here's what you need to know. Perfect the demoing of your physical products if you're going to go live and actually showcase a physical product, right? If that's your business. Now, if you're selling a service and you're pitching a course, this is made for you. If you have an education element to your business, whether you are, let's say that you're selling seeds, so you can go into these awesome gardening channels and just show people, how to actually plant seeds correctly and all the things that they need to know about seasons and, all the hardy versus, what are they called? Hardy zones versus something else zones. Anyway, if you're into gardening, you know what I'm talking about. You can just share all that know-how, but perfect that process. If you're selling a service and you want to give people so much value and show them, everything that they need to do, and if they want you to do it for them, which is the majority of people, by the way, boom, they can hire you. Same with pitching courses, right? You can talk about your subject of expertise and then talk about the next step being your course. Really important. Now, the other pro of this is that this is a short, high energy marketing sprint, meaning you don't have to think of this as something that you have to do month in and month out if you don't want to, right? You could totally do this every quarter. You could do this twice a year, depending on where you're at in your business. Just plug it into your marketing strategy accordingly. The cons is it's a hustle, right? It's time consuming. You got to prep. You got to make sure that you're following up. And there's that follow-up involved where you're communicating with people, sending them links, encouraging them to DM you and chat with you. All super important touch points when you're making a sale. And so finally, here are some selling tips. Again, I just can't say this enough. Y'all, the sales are in the follow-up. So ask people to chime in with questions and DM you if they're interested in your product, program, service. Follow up, right? Maybe you can even do a takeover on stories and then have question prompts on Instagram. And anyone who answers the question or participates in your poll, you can actually start a DM with them. Just chat with them, start a conversation, get in front of your people. I'm telling you, Allie crushed it, and you can do it too. The next thing and final thing is to foster the conversation with integrity and send them a link to your Sam card page, right? Have that link handy. Make sure that you're being respectful, that you're asking questions, that you're listening to them instead of jumping to hey, buy my stuff. Actually have a conversation like a real human, right? That's what's missing in the online space, and it's what people are craving. So super important. All right, moving on to the final OPA. I was going to say APA. OPA strategy. It's the affiliate army, y'all. It's that affiliate game. And actually, that's been our strategy. So we sell courses in our membership site and our products range. Our monthly product, the business launch specifically, ranges from $99 a month to $2,999. We offer our affiliates 30% commissions, and these are recurring commissions if they refer a monthly member, and they are a standard commission if they refer a lifetime member. And this is the affiliate revenue we bring in every single month. So it's extremely profitable, a strategy that I would highly recommend every single person deploys. And honestly, we haven't really pushed our affiliate program as we should. We're building that up next year even more. And because we have so many customers, they've just become our affiliates because they love our product. And that's a key. Remember when we talked about creating products that your people actually love, and not creating products, not finding customers for your products, but actually creating products for your customers, like Seth Godin was talking about. This is proof in the pudding, y'all. This is what I'm talking about. You can totally leverage this, and don't get it twisted, right? We didn't make $15,000 a month the first month we launched the business launch. That just didn't work. We worked at it for a couple of years, and it's been a process of building and perfecting. And quite frankly, we're getting ready to do a really big push next year. So you could totally do this as well. If you have existing customers, or if you're just getting started, recruit your freaking affiliate army. It's massive. If you look at any of the big industry players in the online space, they're crushing it with affiliates. And that's really a simple way of bringing in monthly recurring revenue, or just, crushing it with a launch. So affiliate traffic basically can come from anywhere your affiliate wants to send people from. And then they have a specific URL, right, that tracks their unique traffic. They send that traffic to your SamCart page or your sales page, or a combination of both, and then you generate sales. It's that simple. Now, the cool thing is with SamCart, you actually have an entire affiliate platform, an affiliate dashboard that comes integrated with some of the more advanced plans. So if you're not on that plan already, highly recommend upgrading. Basically, it's all in there for you. All the sales tools that you will need to make this happen are integrated. And that's why I love me some SamCart. I've been a customer for 5 years, and I preached it from the rooftops. Love this company. I love what they stand for, and I constantly talk about how much they've helped our brand grow. So make use of this. These tools are here for you. So here are a couple affiliate army tips. Again, right? Kind of moving into everything we've talked about before. You're going to figure out who the key players in your industry are. Look one level down and begin to build those relationships. You can pitch them on collaborations, like maybe invite them to your podcast first, or have them create, something that's of value. Find out what's valuable to them, and then build that relationship, whether it's giving them an awesome review or buying one of their products and becoming an awesome success story for them. Figure out exactly how you want to build those collaborations, and then get them to try your product, or even apply for your affiliate program if they're actually interested in promoting it. Fostering those relationships is what's going to allow you to have top tier affiliates. And at the beginning, you can just start with whoever is interested in becoming an affiliate and go from there, right? Build it with your customers, build it with friends and partners and vendors and anyone who wants to collaborate and contribute with you. Because really, when we work together as entrepreneurs, we can take over. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. All right, so here are pros and cons of building your affiliate army. And per usual, we have more pros than cons. The first pro is that this is perfect for online courses and memberships, and it's even great for physical products. There's many physical product programs that have awesome affiliate programs. SaaS also does really well. Digital products do really well. But I didn't want to mention everyone because I always get pushback on that. Just letting you know, Most everyone, most every industry has some kind of affiliate program, which is awesome. I mean, think about Amazon. Like they have one of the biggest affiliate programs, if not the biggest affiliate program. And they sell all kind of things. They sell audiobooks and digital downloads, and they sell subscription services, and they sell physical products. So keep that in mind. And then if done correctly, it's the gift that keeps on giving, y'all. I'm talking your affiliates will continue sending traffic to your Samcart pages, to your website, to that order form, and you're going to continue to make sales if you nurture that relationship consistently. So here are the cons, right? It's time consuming in the beginning, but everything is. Just obviously keep that in mind. And then you want to communicate routinely with your affiliates. So just remember that relationships need to be fostered over time. So it's not a set it and forget it kind of deal. Yes, you do have occasionally to continue, talking to your affiliates, talk to them about what's coming next, all the cool things that you have in the works, important, and just something to think about. So I hope that you're seeing all the many possibilities and how you can take all of these awesome tools, put them in your toolbox, and just crush it. Even if you don't have, the ability of purchasing Facebook ads or any kind of paid advertising right now, or if you don't have a big email list or an audience, there's so much you can still do. So I wanted to throw in 2 quick bonus items in this presentation because we haven't even touched on this, but I'm sure that there's going to be some cool training around this somewhere here in the knowledge base. So check that out with Samcart. But order bumps and one-time upsells have been so critical for our business. It's one of the things that has made us a lot of money and has allowed us to look at, sometimes 10xing our profitability. So really important. Thinking about adding something like an order bump, which is an extra product. Some people call it a cross sale, that you can layer onto your order form. And if you're doing affiliate marketing, if you're doing influencer marketing, or if you're doing any kind of OPA strategy, other people's audiences, throwing in there an order bump is going to generate more profit for you. And it's also, if you are, sharing that profit, if you're giving, that other person a cut, it'll also increase their commission, which is awesome. So for us, having order bumps, in different types of funnels increases our average conversion rate by about 35%. So we get about 35% of people who purchase the original product also purchase the order bump. And this is ranging from, order bumps that are very inexpensive like this one, which is $37, to order bumps that are $99. So keep that in mind. It's also increased our average order value by about 33%, which is crazy, y'all, right? Especially when you're running a 7-figure business, that's a lot of money. And so I really want to keep that in mind for you. When you're starting out, your average order value is key, right? 2 important metrics, lifetime value and average order value. If you don't know about those, go listen to the 5-Minute Marketing Podcast by Brian Moran, right? Co-founder of Samcart. Check out the knowledge base. They have so many resources that teach you and train you. Check out their YouTube channel on what these terms are and how you can leverage them. And then we've actually added from 25 to 35%, depending on the month, 25 to 35% more revenue to our bottom line, meaning total gross profit, right? Just by having an order bump, really key. And then if we add one-time upsells, that's even more, right? So we sell other products ranging from $99 to $300 as our upsells, and we'll continue to up and increase that, percentage as well. So for us, one-time sales convert from 20 to 25%. It's increased our monthly recurring revenue by 10 to 20% month after month, which is amazing if you have a business model where monthly recurring revenue is so key, right? It is, you live and die by it kind of thing. And that also accounts for 15 to 20% extra revenue every single month. That's revenue that we would not have if we didn't have the ability of doing, one-click upsells and order bumps. And these are all amazing features that Samcart provides. And I'm sorry if I'm sounding overly salesy. I'm not trying to sell you on this. Like you're already here. I'm just trying to get you hyped for the possibility. I have grown my business through this model the past 5 years, and I can tell and attest that this is an incredibly powerful tool that not enough entrepreneurs are using. So Get familiar with Samcart, understand the features, and then layer on these organic traffic strategies to just crush it in your business. So excited for you. Hope you're taking tons of notes. And this is basically it. I'll see you in the outro. All right, so I hope that you're feeling totally pumped to actually get to work implementing these strategies and start driving some organic traffic to your Samcart pages, start monetizing, and start growing your online empire. And hey, if you have any questions about how to implement these strategies into your business model, your industry, or your niche, come over to Instagram and hit me up. We're at Kim Jimenez, and I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what were your biggest takeaways, or answer any questions that you might have, or just say hello. Don't forget, we're all rooting you on in this amazing entrepreneurship journey. You got everything that it takes to continue growing and learning and just taking on your own little corner of the internet. I'm so excited to continue supporting you, and thank you so much to Samcart for having me. All right, that's it from me. Un beso. Bye for now.